Hello, and welcome to our show. This is Tia, it's pronounced Lirley, Lirley. She is the president of Sonoma State Line Dance Club. Imagine that. And we have so many line dance questions for you today. First of all, what got you into line dance?
My cousin. I hated country music with passion, and then I started to like it. And then when I turned 18, she took me to Stampede, which
Where
is
is?
in Temecula in San Diego, outer skirts, and then I just loved it, and I just did it ever since.
Did you have any background in dance before this?
Yes, I used to dance. Started when I was about 3, and I did like the typical tap and polka dot bikini dance. And then I quit when I was about 12. I went into like martial arts and basketball.
And what would you say your role is currently in line dance?
Like, how so?
If you were to describe yourself as choreographer, instructor, just a dancer on its own, what would you say you are?
I like just dancing. I don't really. I'll teach if I like have to teach at a club and teaching them, but I just enjoy the dancing aspect of it.
And how did you get started in teaching or being part of the club?
You.
What would you like to say about that?
Well, I found the page on Facebook, and then it was an official club, and then I came, and it was you and me, and there was a dance back home that I wanted to learn, and I just taught it, and then liked it, and then you asked if I'd be president, and then you didn't show up one day, and I had to teach. So.
Sounds like that worked out pretty well then.
Yeah.
All right. You say you used to hate country music?
Yes.
So you didn't like country music, but you did have a little bit of background in dance. When you started going country line dancing, I'm sure there was a little bit of conflict of like, yeah, I can do these steps because I have the background, but I don't like this music. Why did you keep going?
I used to hate it, and then like I got into it about my junior year of high school.
Oh, I see this.
And then starting to like it, and my cousin was proud of me that I liked it, and because I started to like it, then it led to going line dancing.
That makes sense.
And my dad grew up hating it, so he made us hate it. So he didn't let us listen to it because he hated it, and now he hates when I play it.
Perpetuating the cycle.
Yep.
But you're breaking that cycle.
I'm breaking the cycle.
Single-handedly. All right. So what are the responsibilities of being the president of a line dance club?
I gotta keep everything in order, make sure there's no problems that go on inside the club. They're the people that are in charge of us. They're kind of just laid back. And just we have to get paperwork on in time. Other than that, it's kind of up to us and just making sure everything stays in order.
All right. What would a typical meeting look like if you were to say go to a club meeting tonight? What would that breakdown be like from minute to minute?
Well, when we show up, usually we kind of like goof around for a little bit because we're all friends, so we have the friend aspect. I don't consider us very formal because we're all very close with each other. So we usually start sometimes while we're getting ready to see what dance we're going to teach. We'll have a couple songs playing and just kind of dance. Then we'll do a dance, teach the dance, break it down, then go over it. Then we'll have like a 5-minute break or so people can get water. And then we'll play a couple songs and we can dance. Then we'll teach another one. And then if there's like 5 minutes to spare, we'll go over a song. But we usually teach about two a night when we have meetings.
All right. And what are some of the other roles you have across campus? I see you've got SSU women's basketball putting on. So I'm going to assume you're some kind of athlete.
Yes, I did play for the school, and then now I'm a student assistant coach for the Sonoma State women's basketball team. And yeah, that's about my other role.
Okay. And what would you say being an athlete has done for your perception of space and the relationship you have with the movement of your body?
I guess being like stable on my feet, I guess, because I'm a klutz. Unless I've been outside of the basketball lines, I'm a klutz. And if I step on the court, I'm pretty aware. So line dancing, I guess, my feet are usually stable and I don't trip too much. Um, I guess that's about it. It's just having my feet under me.
And what would you say it is about line dance that gives you that feeling of stability as opposed to just everyday life?
I don't know. I'm just a klutz in general. I've walked into numerous poles, and I not even looking at my phone. Tripped over nothing. Hit my head on some things. Ran into some doors. Just I blame it on the blonde.
Okay, I see that. All right. Well, where do you see line dance in the everyday? Like, let's say you were walking down the street, but you were thinking about it in terms of a line dance. Maybe the stability would be there then. But if it's not there, where does it appear when you're just out and about doing your thing?
Oh, sometimes when I'm walking to class, if I have like a song that comes on, so I always have my headphones in, and if a song comes up that's a line dance, sometimes I'll walk to the beat of the line dance, or I'll like do the steps in my head and kind of like make slight turns on my body, but not fully do it. And then sometimes during class, I find myself doing line dances with my feet. All the time, it tends to be the same dance over and over that I do with my feet. But yeah.
Okay. And you mentioned that you were part of the women's basketball team. Have you ever considered joining a line dance team?
I've never thought of joining one until this moment you asked me.
Really?
If the opportunity presented itself, I might, yes.
What would you think that the pros and cons of would be something like that?
The pros probably if it's like a legit team, like when we getting to travel and do like competitions like in France or something. I think the cons, I have bad knees, so maybe the cons would be my knees.
Okay. And you mentioned Stampede. Would you say that's one of your, on the spectrum of favorite and least favorite venues, where does Stampede fall?
I'll probably put it at number, well, atmosphere-wise is number one. Dances I know, probably number two. Because being up here at school and like learning all the dances from up north, I know a lot of the northern dances more than the southern, but I catch on quickly to the southern when I go back home. So, but I love the atmosphere, and it's a giant dance floor and a good atmosphere, and they have really good shirley temples, which is my favorite. But yeah.
What other elements would you say contribute to a good line dance venue or an enjoyable line dance experience?
I think going with people that your friends, like going with your friends. I think when you know a lot of dances, when they play a lot of the songs you like helps. But then if you're just starting out, I think going with lots of friends and just getting out there and trying it and not being scared too makes it enjoyable. Because if you just sit and wait for a song or like just sit there, you're not gonna ever learn anything, so you're never gonna get the full effect of line dancing.
And how do you get over that fear?
Just trying it. I mean, I grew up a lot to where I used to care what people thought, and then by the time I hit my senior year of high school, I became more myself, and I didn't really care what people thought. And so I just kind of let myself go out there. But I went dancing with my cousin, and she knows a lot of dances, so I usually just went out on the dances that she knew, and I just tried it the whole song. I probably ran into so many people, but I tried it anyway, and I just kept going back, and then I learned it.
How would you persuade somebody who is still on the fence or still has their doubts and fears about getting on the floor or even getting in the door of the place? What would you say to them that might cause them to reconsider and think that it could be for them?
Well, some of my friends say I can't dance, and I was like, I couldn't do it before I started. Like, I hadn't danced in a while, and it's different dancing, but I didn't know what I was doing. I couldn't even get like the simplest dance down unless it was Cupid Shuffle, which everybody knows because it's just played at like middle school dances and people do it. But then I think just having the courage to try and just maybe knowing that everyone starts out at that spot, and you got to work your way up there. Is good, and some of my roommates have done. I tried teaching them a couple before they go to, so they don't go blank when they get there.
Are there any line dance challenges that you still face, even dancing for as long as you have so far? Are there any dances or moves, steps in particular that you think like, oh man, this is a pain. Now I remember what it's like to be a beginner.
There's a couple of the harder dances take me a little bit, not as long, but they take me like, I guess a couple times to get it. But dancing longer now, a lot of the steps are repeated in different dances. So it's just putting the combinations together in different orders. So once you get like a certain step down, then it becomes easier to learn that next dance. To whereas someone who may have never danced before can't do a coaster step as easy as like, say I could, because I've been doing it in so many different dances and I learned it like when I first started. To whereas now if I do like Mama's Broken Heart, which is a complicated dance, to where a coaster step in there or like kicks or something is so much simpler than it would have been when I first started.
So it's sort of a cumulative process where as you learn the steps, they just add on.
Yeah, I think it gets easier as you go. Whether you may get like a super advanced dance, but I think looking at it from a beginner's perspective, it looks like super intimidating. But if you look at it for someone who's been dancing who's done so many different dances, it doesn't look as challenging. It just more looks fun because you can just pick it up and put the pieces together.
What do you think it takes to look at something and see the intimidation and then go to a place of, I can handle this? Like, what do you think it takes to have that kind of optimism? Like, does it come through repetition, upbringing, temperament?
Like going to somewhere and doing a dance?
Like what would it be that contributes to that feeling of I can do this if I keep at it?
I think it comes down to just like enjoying it personally.
And what is it that you enjoy, or that maybe among your friends? What is it about line dance that you would consider sufficient for you to say, like, oh yeah, I like this enough to keep at it?
Well, I liked it because when I quit dancing, until a few years ago, I regretted dancing. So then having this way to where I don't need to be flexible to line dance, because I was never that flexible, and it always took forever to get flexible for like doing jazz or lyrical. But you don't have to be flexible to line dance, and enjoying the music and enjoying the atmosphere it is. It's, to me, right now, it's more of an outlet in life and something I enjoy to get my mind off things that may be going on.
And do you ever find line dance to be a source of stress? Like, do you ever encounter criticisms from people because you are into line dance?
No.
Oh, that's good.
My team has made fun of me a few times, and my coach makes fun of me, but it's in the good making fun because they know I enjoy it. And some of them actually do ask like genuine questions. But it's just because I'm different from all of them, towards I don't enjoy like partying and stuff like that, or like the social life of college. I enjoy the different social life for college. I guess more like the part that you don't see as often in like the news, and you don't go to parties. I like the more underdog social lifestyle.
Okay. Do you think that line dance offers that sort of low-key kind of social crowd?
Yeah, I think it does. I think, because especially when you find people that enjoy it too. And so when you find people that enjoy it, you start hanging out with them outside of meetings. And then you realize like you enjoy hanging out with them in general. And you have that common sense of ground of line dancing from what I've had with my group of friends.
And when you go to a venue, what makes it easier or more difficult to connect with people beyond just, well, we're all doing this dance, but then we all split up at the end of it? Like, how do you approach people, or how do you make yourself more approachable so that that kind of friendship can click and connect beyond just the dance?
At venues? Or
wherever through line dance?
In venues, I think it's when you go to a venue, you can definitely tell who's there all the time and who's kind of made it their home. And I think it just takes going enough times to that place to where you become a familiar face to them. And once you become a familiar face, and they're like, hey, like, we've been here a few times, like, and then you kind of develop that friendship basis, and then they know people, you know people, so then the circle starts to grow. To whereas if you don't go that often, then you're not like, I don't know. You just kind of like, you just start growing familiar faces and just dancing out there, and then maybe if they like see that like you can do a dance, maybe they'll come up and ask, hey, can you show me that move or like teach it. And if they really want to learn, like it's not a scary atmosphere. Like everyone's very open, and we're all there to do the same thing, so it's pretty good.
Are there any types of people that you think would especially benefit from that kind of a welcoming atmosphere or a physical atmosphere that that line dance venues provide?
I think people are just like having fun, probably. I'm a fun person.
All right.
I don't know.
Are there any kinds of dances that you find especially fun, or like steps that you can really get into the groove of?
I really, for some reason, like the side, like I don't know how to explain it, but like the side steps where you kind of like, not like ice skates, but you like one foot out and the other foot.
I'm thinking you're like in body rock where you do the lean.
No.
Oh, okay.
It's in the walk.
Okay.
Like in the first, like you walk in the out steps.
Okay.
Like those out, I don't know, they're fun. I also like kicking crosses. And then some spins. I can't do too many spins, but I like when a dance changes walls a lot and like making it complicated.
Okay. What does it do for you, that complication?
Like what? I don't know. It's just fun because you have to wrap your head around it, and then once you get it, you like can like change it up and put your own spin on it. But like getting that down and getting a complicated dance down is like, it's like a I did it type of feeling. Like I accomplished it.
When you say you put your own spin on it, what kind of personal stylings have you added to dances yourself? Or is there a style that you've noticed about yourself, or that others would point out and saying like, oh, that's such a Tia thing to do in a dance?
My mom told me I took really big steps when she came and watched me dance. But I don't think that's a style, but I think I just take big steps when I dance. I like a lot of space. I like taking up a lot of space. And I can't stand when like there's no space to dance. So that's why I like bigger dance floors, because then, especially like the hard dances, not as many people know them. So then the space gets bigger. So then if you're doing like a dance that has wizard steps, you don't have to do like little wizard steps. You can take a giant wizard step and like really just emphasize each step, which I like.
Okay. Well, you mentioned like the size of a floor contributing to your enjoyment. What would be, if we could look at a contrast, what would be your picture of like the ideal dance venue, from the staff, the bouncers, to the DJ, to the owner's participation, possibly decorations, and then what would be the absolute worst? What would just chase you off so that you never return?
Okay, from past experience, I guess I'll go back and forth between what I like and don't like. So from past experience, there was a place that closed down, and they split up 21 and over, under 18. And under 18, we couldn't even get a soda. And so like I feel like that didn't help their like income. Water wasn't always like provided for us, but like just having it separated just had this attitude of just like shunned on, I guess, for being younger, that we couldn't be on the other side, and you were strictly like, if you were on the other side, you were just like automatically told. And I don't like being separated. I think having everyone together, and then I don't mind when they like mark our hands to put that we're on 21, like that has nothing to do with it, but you can meet so many more people if you're all together. Back home they have a really big dance floor, and they have the center dance floor, and then on the outside they have like bars that make a circle, like a ring around the dance floor that allows for a lot of partner dancing. And I like that idea because they do a lot of two-steps, and I enjoy two-stepping. If you get a person who's really good at it, then it's fun because they spin you around and everything. But I like having the big dance floor. I think lots of tables. I like bigger venues better than smaller venues, I guess. Too overcrowded. I think that comes into how, if you have a small place that's a good place to go dancing, a lot of people go to it to where it becomes super crowded. And I think that adds for like a very muggy, gross, like sweaty feeling, and it's just like you're like shoulder to shoulder to everybody, and it's just hard to get to the dance floor. Like maybe like an easy way to get to the dance floor is always nice, especially if you dance to a lot. Like you'll be out there for like 3 songs, come back, and all of a sudden 2 songs later, but there's like a wall of people. Like you want to be able to get to the dance floor, which is nice. I think a DJ that listens to requests is helpful. Maybe if they have like one person request it, but they know it's a popular dance and they can still do it, but they have one person request it, or just go by like the number of requests you get for that one song and play like the top requested. But I think listening to requests, back home they do 2 freestyles per night, which I don't like. I think once freestyle is enough because you're there to line dance, not go clubbing and fist pumping. So if you're there to line dance, be there to line dance and not freestyle. I think that sounds just general good staff, maybe good food, good shoulder temples. That fits my needs. Cheap cover. Mm-hmm. Back when they charged it's $17 for if you're there after the price starts, and it was $15. And I had like my budget. I can go with a $20 bill, get in, and get 2 drinks, and then now I have to like bring other money. So I think $10 covers a reasonable price, maybe like 7, hoping that they buy drinks. Like if you because like you're gonna want like refreshments. So maybe if you lower the price and then maybe like just make sure they buy drinks, or hope they do, I guess. But I think you might get more people if the price is lower.
And if there were dances that you would not do, just you'd be too bored by them, or too challenged by them, or too thrown off by them, what would be some aspects of bad dance form, like bad dance choreography?
Like what dances don't I like?
Yes. And what is about them that you don't like?
I cannot stand, what's it called? It's by called Trace Atkins. What's that one? Honky Tonk?
Oh, Honky Tonk Donk Donk.
Yeah, I cannot stand that one. Cannot stand it. I don't really care for the song in general, so the song right there kind of throws it off. And the dance in general, I just don't care for. I don't know. I don't like it.
All right. Any others?
There was a song the other day that you taught that I didn't like the song too, so I didn't learn it.
Were you one of the folks who didn't want to learn Showstopper?
Yes. Showstopper. That song. The dance looks okay, but the song ruins the dance. The song is terrible. It just repeats. I'm all over again, and it's just so annoying.
What is your preferred music for line dancing?
Not annoying. Country's good. Upbeat. I think upbeat's good. Some pop songs work well with a lot of dances. I think it's just if you don't like a song, you don't like a song, but sometimes the dance is good, so then you learn to like the song. But in the case of like Showstopper, that song is just so annoying. Not trying to like demean Showstopper. Learn it if you want to learn it, but that song is just like, is it over yet? Because it's so repetitive, and it's just like so, I don't know. It's just not good.
Are there any dances that you enjoy watching, but you just don't do for whatever reason?
No, No, because usually if I see a dance I like, I usually try to learn it so I can do it. Um, I stopped doing a lot of the easier dances, such as like God Bless Texas, Blind Will Crawl, just because there's so many people out on the floor now. To where because I know more dances that I know that if I go for 2 hours, I'll get a good amount of dances in. If I sit out these, so like I'm okay sitting out dances now. To whereas like last year, I would do every single dance I knew because I wanted to make the most out of my time. To whereas now I know more dances to where I'm okay sitting out those easier dances and just like waiting for more floor room.
Have you ever thought about choreographing?
Yeah, but no.
Yeah, but no.
I have, but I can't. Can't process it all.
What do you think it would take to feel like you could?
I don't know, maybe just like sitting myself down or like really finding a song, but I don't think I could write out the steps. I think I would have to like do it and just throw it together and just hope for the best.
Are there any other barriers that you see in line dance, like for people who might want to choreograph, but the step sheet process is too difficult, or they want to do certain steps, but they can't follow all the walls? What barriers do you see that still need to be surmounted?
I think repetition helps. I think if you're like trying to learn a dance and you do it on like the first wall X times, and then but you do it X times to where you feel like it's like muscle memory for that extent of learning, because you have a short term, long term memory to where it's not going to be stored in long term. So if you do it enough times to where your short term memory can remember it, then going into second wall, it should be easier, and then each wall kind of gets easier. And I think just getting that repetition down. And then also, then if you're starting out, then obviously it's going to be hard and you're going to forget it. But the more you dance and the more you understand all these steps, the easier it is to switch from wall to wall. After learning, maybe you do this front wall twice, and then you move on to the next wall, and then also you jump right into music. But because you've done the steps so many different times, so many dances, that it's just like fluid.
That leads me to a question that we will pick up right after the break. We're going to take just a moment, see if we can get this large fly to leave our room. We'll be right back. Okay, well, we're back from the break, and we resolved to let the fly do its thing. All right, just a few more questions for you. What could be improved about your favorite venue?
The DJ. I think well, every place that I've gone to up here takes requests and nothing like asks for it. And he has like a sheet next to him, like where we can access it, but he's like in this booth to where you can't get to him. And we can like tally the dance that we want. Now, does he play them? No. Does he listen to it? No. But he can take requests for tips. And I don't like the idea of giving money just to play a dance, a song. Usually he plays enough to where I know them anyway, because he usually sticks to the same songs. Just rotates a couple here and there, but I think if he, I understand why he would want tips. He doesn't want a little extra money, but maybe just that factor. Just listening to requests more.
What methods would you say are used by effective line dance instructors, being a part-time instructor yourself at Sonoma State Line Dance Club?
Maybe just really making sure that your people that you're teaching to understand what you're teaching. Such as like last night, I was like boggled in the mind and I couldn't like get out certain words, and I had trouble like describing what I was doing, but I did all the right steps, so they were able to get it because I just followed my feet. To whereas they weren't following my words because it's more of like visual. They got it, but I feel like making sure that the people that you're teaching to are understanding it. And some people like learning from counts, like they like having the count breakdown, and some people like having the words said out loud. So if you like maybe like once say the words and then the next time say the counts, that way both sides can get it.
All right. And speaking of that dance that you taught last night, Here's a question about what line dances do you think should have taken off or spread more than they have, and for whatever inexplicable reason have not? Which ones would you point out? Which ones should we bring back?
The walk.
The walk.
I personally love the walk.
And that's was it the Mukara walk or something like that? Where is that done currently?
The walk is done down south. A lot of places down south. That's like during freestyle, you can do it to like any freestyle song pretty much. You can slow it down, speed it up. The walk is done, but up here I've never seen anybody do the walk. And a lot of dances down south aren't done up here and vice versa. So maybe just like, I think every place has like their certain line dances that they have, and that's stuck to them.
Do you think that can be changed at all in the future?
I think if up here it's easier to bring a dance than I think it is down south. Especially the place I've been to.
Why do you suppose that is?
Because the DJs listen to the song requests. Whereas if I went down south and said, hey, can you play this song, to where I say, let's see, like, Just Got Paid. They do that dance, they do that song down south, but it's a different dance.
TGIF. Is that right?
Probably. So if I do my version, what I learned up here,
Booty shaking.
booty shaking, no one else is going to do that down south. And vice versa, no one's going to do TGIF up north, because that's not the version that's up north. So I think it's just maybe the person that's dancing, learning all the different styles of places. That way when you go, you can be versatile.
And speaking of possible changes that could occur in the future, what do you see in line dance's future? And along with that, what are some problems in line dance that still need to be solved?
I think more places could open up. That would be helpful and nice. Hopefully 18 and over, because I think, especially if you're in a college town like we are, having a place that's 18 and over would benefit, because you have an 18 and over population. To where if you have 21 over, you're only, say you're drawing in those college kids, but you're only drawing in half of a junior class and senior class, and then everyone's graduated. To whereas if you have 18 over, you're drawing in freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, and all the in-betweens. So maybe more dancing places, because right now we currently have to drive an hour to get to the closest venue, which, granted, we're used to the drive now, so it doesn't seem as terrible, but it still would be nice if we had somewhere 20 minutes away, or 10 minutes, or 5 minutes down the road. Would be nice.
All right. Oh, you mentioned your background in dance. What would you say have been your influences from other fields of dance that made it into your line dance world?
None.
None.
Because I completely forgot everything that I learned in the past.
All right. And we have I believe just a couple more questions. One question for you is, what do you think should be asked about line dance that isn't being asked right now? Possibly by me, possibly by others. What do you think is not being discussed enough about line dance?
Maybe the enjoyment of it. Just enjoy it. To whereas someone that may do it for competitions, but I think everybody has an enjoyment for it. So I think maybe just talking about how fun it is.
All right. And if people wanted to talk to you about how fun line dancing is, how would they get in contact with you?
Sonoma State Line Dance Club on Facebook.
All right.
I answer very quickly when I get the notification. My cell phone number, I think, is on there.
All right.
Email, go for it.
All right. And finally,
Find me on Google.
another good source of information there. What dance should everybody go out and learn right now?
There's so many. Personal favorites. I like Barefoot and Buck Wild, or the walk. I think I'm gonna go with the walk, because it's so versatile. You can do so many different songs. So if someone doesn't like country music, you can still do a dance to that, because you can do so many pop songs to it. So maybe that can get them into line dancing, and then once they like that, and they can move to country music.
All right. The Walk, go learn it. Thank you for coming on our show, Tia.
You're welcome.
And I'll see you fairly soon for club.
All right.
All right. We'll see you next time.